Level up, level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, level up. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, level up. Never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Waking up meant that he gave me a chance and I'm rolling the dice. I do it all, living like I'm trying to go for the platinum trophy in life. Who can you call? Really nobody, so you should just follow me on your device. And know if she chilling with me, then it's bound to be chemical X and the sugar and spice. Game in the system, but game is the hobby. I'm probably cocky, but hot as wasabi. I mean, if it's beef, then you know where to find me. My niggas is ready and so is my body. You should be running and telling your posse and what's in the speakers and what's in your potty. And she trying to kick it, but this ain't karate. Just keep that shit down while I'm watching Tsunami. I ain't saying I'm a super nerd, but I told you when we got involved, my idea of a perfect date is a PlayStation and some alcohol. I was role playing on GTA. I'm a good guy, but I got it all. If the world should end, be the first to leave, but the last of us acting naughty, dog. Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. I wanna ball. Waking up meant that he gave me a chance and I'm rolling the dice. I do it all, living like I'm trying to go for the platinum trophy in life. Who can you call? Really nobody, so you should just follow me on your device. And know if she chilling with me, then it's bound to be chemical X and the sugar and spice. Game in the system, but game is the hobby. I'm probably cocky, but hot as wasabi. I mean, if it's beef, then you know where to find me. My niggas is ready and so is my body. You should be running and telling your posse and what's in the speakers and what's in your potty. And she trying to kick it, but this ain't karate. Just keep that shit down while I'm watching Tsunami. I ain't saying I'm a super nerd, but I told you when we got involved, my idea of a perfect date is a PlayStation and some alcohol. I was role playing on GTA. I'm a good guy, but I got it all. If the world should end, be the first to leave, but the last of us acting naughty, dog. Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough.
If you are seeing my face, that means it is Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Time. I was told by Brand J67 I gotta stop doing stuff in Central Time because apparently no one does things in Central Time. Everything is in Eastern Time. So I guess when I talk about the podcast being live, starting today moving forward, I will say 7 p.m. Eastern Time, which is weird because I'm in the great state of Tejas and all we do is Central Time. But I guess we can do things on Eastern Time, so y'all are a bit ahead of us, even though we're better than you. And we're definitely not doing Western or California in them time, Mountain Time, whatever that time is, because that's stupid. Y'all are 2 hours behind and y'all late to everything. When we was in 2025, y'all started in 2024, so I would never use that time. So I guess I'll start saying 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and maybe that'll get people more inclined to get here and get here on time. We have lots to talk about tonight, folks. Talking Phil Spencer had a bunch of interviews, And don't worry, Destin Laguerre and Paris and all those people at Gamer Tag Radio. I'm going to say your name and give you credit for your interview. I saw this whole big discourse on Twitter, people not giving credit where credit is due, and I will give you credit if I'm talking about that interview. No, I will not be posting clips, but I will still give credit where credit is due. We're also going to talk about PlayStation getting a new boss. He might be switching some things up, changing things up, but PlayStation does have a new boss in the town. We'll see how that shakes out. More layoffs in this industry. Who's surprised? Not me. And then some people may be surprised, but Xbox last month was the biggest publisher around. And that may be a sign of the future. What's going on, people? Famous here from LV1 Gaming.com. Congratulations, you guys leveled up. This is the Level 1 Gaming Podcast. Yes, Baron isn't here today. I'm watching him currently on Discord play video games. So it is open discourse to talk badly about him, whichever way you guys see fit. There is no holding back. You could talk bad about him in a super chat, and I'll read it out 4 times, so we know that the universe heard it loud and proud. Listen, watching the show is free. It's free 99, man. You guys gonna get some free entertainment. All we ask is you hit that like button and subscribe to the show if you enjoy yourself. If you really want to support the channel and LV1Gaming.com, please consider becoming a channel member because that is the easiest way you can support us. We do a lot of things here, a lot of things for the community. We bring a lot of new people in to Level1Gaming.com, give them a chance in this industry, which a lot of places aren't doing. They're interviewing developers, reviewing AAA games. Not a lot of places you can go to and be able to do that out the drop of a hat, but that does cost money. So if you want to support us, please consider becoming a channel member and or super chatting. I'm gonna get going with the introductions. First off, my right hand, man, the floor hugger with the hardest bars. What's going on, sis?
I'm enjoying that hard R. I love you guys. We're gonna talk video games, Baron. I got no roast yet, but Dallas is gonna give me something good I know to work from, because we roasting Baron all night continuously. He ain't here helping us with the news. He's over there playing video games. Baron playing
Call
video
him out.
games.
And
Call
being
him out.
trash at it. Just dying.
Just
dying.
Ugh.
Wild.
We miss you, B.
Lord.
We love you.
Not gonna lie, when Hugger said Dad was gonna tell me something good, I thought Dad was gonna say, "Tell me something good." I just expected that to come out of your head, but now I feel like you need to flip that on the beat somehow. But next up, DALLAZ.
Man, I caught you off guard.
Asshole.
Damn. Baron traumatized you once.
Nah, Baron traumatizes us like once a week at least. At least once a week. Once you get laughed at, and I mean like the type where you can't breathe and we wonder for you, we like fear for your safety. Like once you laugh that hard at your closest friends being fatherless, your soul has left the building right along with Elvis.
Wow.
Also, I want to acknowledge the fact that Fame is a master orator. Like this, I would listen to this man talk all day. And instead, I'm relegated to a good 15 minutes every so often whenever he decides to do it. So I'll be on strike until we get to hear Fame talk again. 15 minutes of Fame. That being said, I'm with it. So let's get it.
Hey, we got one more introduction left to do. But listen, y'all remember that show where they had the neighbor, but you never saw his face, and all he did was talk behind the fence? What's the name of that show?
Wilson.
Home improvement.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna start doing podcasts like this, so people who are new to the show can never see my face, and I'm just gonna podcast just like this the whole time. They don't even know what I look like.
No.
That's why I'm gonna be
Yeah.
moving. Well, last but not least, whatever.
Kakashi.
Hold on, girl.
Kakashi did hide his face. It was like one of the most
Maybe
like
four.
one of the I don't know. I think he was one of the most popular characters.
Oh, Wilson,
Kakashi. No, Kakashi.
Kakashi,
Kakashi.
6
Wilson,
times.
Wilson was pretty like popular too, though.
Last but not least, the hardest working woman in the games industry. She all over the place. She had every con. She had every situation. What's going on, sis?
Not much. Excited to be here. And speaking of being places, if anyone listening is going to be at DICE, I will be there next month. And so if you would like to reach out and connect, let me know. Let's connect. Let's talk. Let's make the gaming space better.
Can I get an autograph?
She's also offering free sips of coffee. So
free sips of coffee and autographs.
It'll be from Darren's cup.
From Darren's cup.
And you got a whole game under your belt now, like a full game you done did. So like, I want your autograph.
I have 2 games.
Oh,
yes. But like we don't like that wasn't to like brag, but like because I don't talk about Super Combo Man, but I did the graphic art to help with like the UI for that. So that was my first like title, and then like the latest one was narrative design. But I'm not famous, you know what I'm saying?
Can I ask you to do something for me though, Diz? Like, if there's one thing I could ask you to do, just at least like once or twice a month. Just don't be humble. Just stop. Just like be
brag about
flex
you.
that shit. You know what I'm talking about? Like
YouTube fame. Brag about what you do.
Yeah,
all of y'all need to do that. You know what I mean?
Everybody needs to brag. I'm really bad at it. Like for example, like and this is also not a brag, but someone nominated me for the Game Hers, and I personally but I don't like asking people to vote for me. Like I don't like that ideal at all. I feel like if you nominated me and you have a team of people who are like, we see what you do, and like we're selecting you out of a group of people, like that, to me, that's better. Like you'll never see me being like, hey, I got nominated, please vote for me. I'll like absolutely never do that. And I feel bad. They probably shouldn't have nominated me because I'm just not into that kind of thing. But
well,
I don't know. It just
it's not good thing. It's not for you.
It's not me being humble. I just don't. Oh, okay. Well, if it's for y'all.
Well,
it's not for you. We recognize you because we care. We are fans.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Major shout out to Stroley. Who upgraded membership to level 2. Appreciate the support, Stroley. Oh, Hugger, update that screen. Shout out to Yobi with the gifted membership. THX 11 got the membership. So we are 1 of 5 of our goal of hitting 5 new members of the channel table. Listen, we're gonna jump right into it because I want to talk about Xbox. I'm sorry, we gotta start with Xbox first because it has been all up and throughout the news today. We're going to talk about the good and the bad and the ugly of things that came out of Xbox recently. We're going to talk numbers first because a lot of different numbers came out. And then we're going to talk about this Phil Spencer interviews that happened because a lot of information came out of this. Some of it's like, yeah, we kind of knew this. Let's move on. But I think it's very interesting for people to finally, I think for once, realize that this is the vision for Xbox, right? So I do want to talk about, they did come out with some numbers that a lot of us sort of expected. So their gaming revenue in total for Microsoft's gaming fiscal year 25, this is October through December, gaming revenue was down 7%. Xbox content and services revenue increased 2%. Xbox hardware revenue declined 29%. I think out of everything, that's the one we all kind of understood was going to happen. Let's call a spade a spade. If it walk like a duck, it talk like a duck, and quack like a duck, it's an MF and duck. We know Xbox hardware isn't moving. We know it's not moving, right? And we've talked about this to nauseum that we know for a fact that maybe it doesn't. I'm gonna say this, but it sort of contradicts something I'm gonna say later on that Phil Spencer was saying in the interview. But from our standpoint, we've always felt like Xbox doesn't care whether or not they sell hardware, right? Because at the end of the day, their goal is Game Pass. Xbox's goal is for this to be an Xbox. Xbox's goal is for this, my phone, which I unplugged, that's an Xbox, right? They're not too much worried about the actual box itself, right? And we're going to talk about that because that seemingly may not really be the case over at Xbox. But Xbox revenue was down. Content and stuff is up. Then also, it came out that Xbox was the biggest publisher of the month last month, and this is due to Call of Duty, right? Call of Duty was the number one selling game of the year last year. It came out in October, November. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. Black Ops 6 dropped. It was the number one game. with it being on PlayStation, and what happened?
The chat. Look at the chat.
Uh-oh. Baron is the greatest and fame doesn't read well.
Oh my god.
What happened?
Oh
That's why we can't have
no.
nice things.
Who is level 1 bot? That's Baron. It gotta be Baron. God, I hate him. Sorry, back to my point, Baron. Xbox was the number one. Okay, so we talked about, their revenue was down, hardware is down, but they're the number one publisher last month. This is almost solely.
Oh, man. Hey, so what did I miss?
Oh my goodness. What was that you said in the beginning of the show about their time zone?
It's giving crunk.
And you wonder why black folks ain't liked.
No, you know
You
what?
ever stop?
I have to.
And you bring and you bringing John?
The nerve. The nerve.
The audacity.
Do he got a pass?
Oh man. You know what's like? Oh man. Get him.
Now, so I'm
gonna let you finish, but I just gotta say, Baron is the coolest guy on this panel. He don't need to be the man behind the fence. He's Tim Allen.
The man behind the fence.
Nobody cares about Tim Allen.
Johnny, you just call Baron the man in the house?
He did.
Interesting, Johnny.
Hey, that was a layered joke. I'll give you that, Johnny. That was a good one. That was definitely for 90s kids.
Yeah.
Johnny's like 17.
I'm sitting here like, if everybody's somebody from this house, and this is the 90s, I'm Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I call it.
That's a good one.
I miss the 90s.
But I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me wrap this up. Hold on. Let me wrap this up, okay? Because I feel like I'm having to keep going backwards. And I don't want to have to do that, okay?
Oh, yeah, I apologize.
Talked about the numbers. No, you're fine. You're fine. We're going to get back to talk about the numbers, right? But they were the biggest publisher of the month. That's solely and almost exclusively due to Call of Duty. We're seeing somewhere along the lines of 60-something% of Xbox games that are, I guess, also on PlayStation or being bought on PlayStation, right? So Xbox is sort of being what we all expected them to be once they begun these moves of being, hey, we're going to be a third party, not saying we're going to be a third party publisher, but hey, we're putting games on other platforms. We got these original 4 games, and we're going to talk about the interview with Phil said earlier because it's really going to jump into it, right? But as far as it stands, and D, I'm going to start with you. I believe this is going to be a running thing. Xbox is the biggest games publisher moving forward. I don't see any other publishing that's going to be able to touch what Microsoft has done and can do with the amount of IPs that they've bought up, right? So D, your thoughts on number one, Microsoft's numbers being all over the place, hardware sales being down, content being up, and also being the biggest third-party publisher last month and likely moving forward.
Man, like there's like a very small group that could compete with that. Like, who can compete with Call of Duty? Maybe Epic. Maybe
I mean, Take-Two, they got GTA, but I mean
Take-Two, absolutely, because GTA.
Take-Two is huge. They do a lot. GTA and then 2K. They do a lot.
That would make them the biggest publisher the month GTA drops. And then the month GTA Online drops, and then the month Red Dead drops, they'd have to work for it. Going against Xbox and Call of Duty, you're gonna have to work for it. It's cool. It's great. It's nice to see, it's nice to see a big publisher sweat just a little bit. I mean, every Drake needs a Kendrick.
Oh my god.
Who Drake and who
Jackson
Kendrick?
even had Prince. Oh, you know what? I didn't even think that far ahead.
Who's Drake? No. You got to make a choice right now on the spot. Who Drake and who Kendrick?
You know what? Take-Two is Kendrick. Why? Because Yee ass haircut I mean, you listen. You get points just for hiring Slink Johnson to be hard.
That's fair.
Like strictly for hiring Slink
You had
Johnson.
Samuel Jackson in your game. That's fair.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Officer Tenpenny was amazing and actually had a really good story. Like I think people underestimate how good San Andreas actually was from a narrative standpoint, and that's why.
Ended with the LA riots and everything.
People only cared about hot coffee.
Yeah.
Hey.
Ooh. Right then was when if the soundboard should have had "Let's Get It On" queued up right then and there.
Oh Lord,
we're doing this wrong. We're doing this wrong.
They absolutely are.
First of all, everybody in attendance who's been watching us for any amount of time already know this. Like, this is not new. Like, Des the only one that hide her stuff under her bed, but you hanging out with us, so we know what type of person you are.
Business.
Oh!
What if I want to be
guilty
a
by
freak and
association.
sell it on the weekends? It's none of y'all's business. None.
I'm not judging.
Nobody.
I encourage everybody to be themselves.
Since we're talking
Like,
about 90s
we are.
songs, I was throwing that lyric out.
You did that.
Hey,
You did. That was-
listen, we
His
support
smooth face
everybody
face.
but R. Kelly and Diddy. That's the only, we don't kink shame or judge unless you one of them. Or unless you like feet.
Got way off
Feet guys,
topic.
okay.
Anyway,
Way off topic.
bringing it back.
So to continue, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella says Q2 2025 fiscal saw strong momentum for Xbox Cloud Gaming with a record 140 million hours streamed this quarter. Game Pass set a new quarterly revenue record and grew its PC subscriber base by 30%. Further pushing what we're saying, it's all software from this point moving forward with Xbox, at least from this aspect of it. Baron, I'm gonna switch over to your thoughts on Xbox numbers coming out and them pretty much being a software giant.
Xbox is now mirroring their parent company. They were holding off for a very long time. They were definitely they were the not ostracized because it wasn't like there was hate or anything. They kind of operated in their own world for a very long time. And now it is definitely, they have now come into the fold. Like, I'm waiting to see the Windows 365 include Game Pass. Like, that's how in the fold they are now. So now that they're mirroring the parent company, anything the parent company does is safe to assume that that's what Xbox is going to do. So like we're seeing now with Games Everywhere, with them being the biggest publisher on competitors' platform. Well, it's not even competitor anymore. They're the biggest publisher on PlayStation's platform. So seeing all these things, right? I think it's a solid sign that as long as Xbox doesn't, for some weird reason, and I'm gonna say this because it's probably gonna happen sometime in the next 15 years. As long as they don't get rid of the name Xbox, they'll be around forever.
And be what, Windows Gaming? Remember that came out last year? People were like going crazy. Oh, it's changing from Xbox to Windows Gaming.
This is what I'm saying.
Please
like,
I mean,
please
it's no, but this is, but I mean, like, guys,
I feel like I said some of this before. Like, when we were
I
talking
wouldn't
about
doubt it.
they were stepping away from consoles, and everybody's like, I don't know, I don't think so. And like we all said, like, you know, Microsoft, like, people look at Xbox as a separate company most of the time. It's not. Microsoft has always been about software. It only made sense as sales started going down and like people couldn't afford these consoles that they would put their stuff everywhere, because they literally have a system in almost every house in the US, because if you have a computer, you can play any of those games. And now they're doing the Fire Stick. Bruh, we talked about it. And for people who were like, nah, it's not gonna happen, I don't know what to say to y'all.
They said a while back their competition was not PlayStation.
No, it was Amazon.
Yeah, it was Amazon and Google.
Yeah,
and you know what's funny about that? So I was scrolling like just yesterday, and I came across this short of this lady who was really actually talking trash. Like she was going in on Bill Gates, but she said something very interesting. Um, Bill Gates didn't invent anything. His business is patents. He makes his money off of patents. Somebody made Microsoft Office just from one day for fun. He bought it for 50,000 because he saw something in it. Yeah, it was 50,000. He bought it for 50,000 because he saw something in it, and look where he took it. Does that remind you of anybody? Does that seem familiar at all?
I mean, that's how most
I know where you're going.
megalomaniacs
But-
Yeah,
are.
I know where you're going with it. This is
Xbox before was trying to build its own Microsoft Office.
this is the thing, right? Because did you guys watch that? I think you're referencing the Xbox documentary that came out. What was it, 2 years ago? Yeah, it was about 2 years ago. So they were holding on, and the nail in the coffin was the Activision acquisition. Here it is. In a perfect world, all that would have did was make Call of Duty exclusive. PlayStation would have been out there begging for the in the early 2000s world of console gaming. Xbox would have been immediately on top because everybody
immediately just having COD alone, everything else, forget about it.
Because remember, look what happened to the fighting game community the moment PlayStation took over. The moment PlayStation locked up FGC, the moment PlayStation locked up
Street Fighter 5,
Street Fighter 5, the moment they did all of this, what did people do? Let me go and buy the console to play the game and be a part of the community I want to be a part of. You don't think people would have did that for Call of Duty? Absolutely. A million times over. But the moment they decided not to go that route, that kind of showed us where things were going. Because who could blame them, right? Who could blame the suits who don't play games for not believing that this one game would have been enough to shift the whole narrative of console gaming globally? Who could blame them? But let's be real, it would have. A million times over. Seeing the success of Call of Duty Black Ops, period, Black Ops 6, you don't like to imagine a world where that wouldn't have moved units for Xbox.
Only on Xbox? Yeah.
I had friends just getting Game Pass to play it. Like,
see what I'm saying?
I don't think it would have moved enough.
Oh, it would have.
I don't know,
have.
because I'm thinking, but I think
highest selling game of the year.
Of the year?
One console?
Yes, but I'm talking about like worldwide, and I think
it would
that,
have. It
okay,
would have.
We're
It's
saying
the biggest
that,
game
but
of
I'm
the
like,
world.
I guess my thing is that you don't have to play it on an Xbox.
No. I'm with you. I am with you there. But still, most people don't want to stream their game. Most people
want a competitive game.
A competitive game. Most people want they're gonna, I promise. Okay. I guess an easier way to look at it is the boosted numbers during the holidays for PlayStation consoles. And what was the game that was mostly sold with it? Call of Duty. What other holiday title moved like that? I don't know of any. I'm not even trying to be funny. Like I'm seriously asking.
No, I don't know because I haven't done the research, but I would like to do the research to see what the sales were like in other countries, because I think that's important. I think when we have these conversations and we say things like this, it comes across as like a blanket statement sometimes because we don't know what's happening in other markets.
But that's the one thing I can guarantee. Call of Duty is the global.
Winning the States, winning just the United States alone would be a massive win for Xbox.
Yeah,
because the United States is the PlayStation is the biggest market in the United States.
Yeah,
it's PlayStation by far.
Yeah, like not even close.
And United States, the UK, if you look at the monthly sales, the yearly sales, PlayStation is dominating, right? But if they had a game like Call of Duty that was exclusive, right? And it was only just on Xbox. That's the only console you can have it on. It would have made that the number one selling console.
Easy. Well, like I'd bet the house on it. Like that's how because Call of Duty, the way people are willing to pay $100 for Grand Theft Auto, people would have went and picked up a console to play Call of Duty. I say that with no reservations.
So
Like,
I do want to bring this up because this kind of flow into the conversation, right? So in his interview with Gamer Tag Radio, shout out to Shinobi 602 for snipping this up so I can just read it from this and I have to go through and type it up, right? So and remember we talked about how we all believe Xbox is just about Game Pass, right? They're not worried about hardware, just Game Pass. But in a segment on why gamers should buy an Xbox, right? Which is counterintuitive to what we saying that Xbox doesn't care about the hardware. Phil says, I want people to pick up hardware based on the capabilities of that hardware and the choices that they want to make about where they want to play. We want our hardware to win based on the capabilities that we have. Hardware critical and fundamental to what Xbox is, not trying to gatekeep games off of different places. So to me, he's saying two things, because again, we all know two things can be true at the same time.
sure.
What he's saying is, yes, we want our games to continue to be on PlayStation. However, we want to make our hardware that's so unique that you still buy our hardware, which tells me that Xbox still cares about hardware. They still, as much as we believe that they don't, because they're putting games on other platforms, Xbox cares about hardware. And it makes me wonder, what could they possibly be cooking? Because you can't come out in 2026 and say, well, here's the next most powerful Xbox console ever, because no one's going to buy it. And Phil, you're telling us that it has to be something, I'm sorry, what's the quote on here? Hardware critical and fundamentals what Xbox is. And I'm sorry, before that. We want hardware to win based on the capabilities that we have. It has to be about more than power. That Xbox had better be about more than power. It can't be the world's most powerful consoles, but its consoles each other consoles. It can't be that, because that's not enough. No one cares at this point. No one cares at this point, because I'll just buy a PlayStation. The next Xbox, if Phil Spencer truly wants to sell another Xbox console, it better do something that is mind-blowing. It better do something that's mind-blowing. Go ahead, love.
So I was doing some research because, like, while you were talking, and basically the biggest market for Xbox is in North America, right? The reason why they don't sell as well worldwide, which is what I was talking about, they're probably looking at the worldwide market, is because they don't have the same foothold that PlayStation has in places like Europe and Asia, right?
Yeah.
I think even if they sold, even if Call of Duty was exclusive to the Xbox, I don't think that those markets would all of a sudden budge and move over, is what I'm saying. Literally, the sales are like triple the price when you look at how PlayStation has done in the past 39 months compared to Xbox. So I think they would need to do more than just have an exclusive game, is all I'm saying.
Winning the States and making at least things bear even in the UK would be enough.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because
that's
these are the biggest
game.
So,
but Call of Duty is the game.
So just to acknowledge the point, and I'm using Wiki, and it's a list of how many games? It's less than 50 games, right? This is history, like games overall history total,
right?
Of 50 games, and I'm being rough. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 Call of Duties games in history. 6. If we can't bet on that moving units, what can we bet on?
So what I'm saying is that I don't think that game alone is going to get you the sales that you want to beat PlayStation. That is
no. No. I'm not talking about beating PlayStation. I'm talking about mattering. Because when you look outside North America, they don't matter.
Okay, that's what I was very confused on, because I was like, it's gonna take more than a game to beat.
No, folks, hear me and hear me well. If you think that I'm saying that Call of Duty is enough to make it to where PlayStation now doesn't matter, no. But Think about how many people are playing Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Think about how many people they only play 1 or 2 or 3 games. If you're telling me that if the average gamer only plays Fortnite, a sports game, and Call of Duty, which is very true. This is the world we live in. That is a true thing. And if you tell me that one of the core gaming elements that you enjoy is only in one place, you're going to go to that place to get it. That's all I'm saying. So I think it would dramatically move numbers, but will it take over PlayStation? No, of course not. People still wearing Jordans. It's not going to go away, but it will put a dent and it will make a big impact. Just like if Grand Theft Auto went exclusive, wherever it goes exclusive, if it ever did, you would see that console dramatically shoot up. It just is what it is because people want to experience that thing.
I do think it would shoot up, but I thought you were saying I already said what I thought you were saying. So
it wouldn't overtake them, but it would make them relevant in the
hardware. Across the board globally, almost immediately.
It would make them relevant
almost immediately.
But so to continue to talk about, go ahead, guys. I'm sorry.
Sorry. You've both played Xbox and you've both played on PlayStation. Which one do you think has better performance?
Xbox. And not from a graphical standpoint, but just terms of interface. For some reason, everybody and their mama has a PlayStation, but I have more friends on Xbox.
That's really interesting. Because
that's usually across the board too. Like most people I talk to, they do their more social interacting on Xbox. At least for me. And that could be because but just like y'all, please, I'm in a circle full of folks. Like
most of my friends have PlayStation 5s and they'll play on PC and Xbox all the time when we're playing their games.
Yeah, that's just always how it's been for me since I was a kid.
Outside of my online circle, everybody I know has PlayStation. My online circle's on Xbox.
That's why I was asking. Because from what I was reading, it was saying the reason why PlayStation has probably done better than Xbox when it comes to sales is because they've been able to capture a larger share of the market, partly due to better initial stock availability and a slightly more aggressive pricing strategy, but also people look at the PS5 as having a high-end experience compared to the Xbox. And I wanted to know...
It's Apple.
It's Apple versus Android. That's all it is.
Okay.
That honestly,
PlayStation is iPhone.
Yeah.
PlayStation is the Jordans.
Yeah.
PlayStation is considered the name brand video gaming console. Yeah.
Like Xbox is broke in a weird way. Like you're broke
for a lot of people. When they think gaming, they automatically think PlayStation, and that's a testament to the brand that they've built.
Yeah, they've earned it. They've earned it.
You have to give them credit for that. They've earned
it. Oh yeah.
Even more so, even though I think in the grand scheme of things, Nintendo I think is the biggest. When people think gaming, they think PlayStation. Right? They automatic every game should be on PlayStation. Right? I mean, it is what it is. I just think. Before I forget, I'm gonna backtrack just a little bit because there is more hardware talk since we're talking hardware, right? Because Phil Spencer also did talk about the Xbox Series S parity. Oddly enough, we know GTA 6 is coming around the corner. And I don't think Xbox can afford a Baldur's Gate 3 situation with GTA 6 if the Xbox Series S is the problem. So he says, I think about it in the most exactly the opposite right now. When we look at something like the Steam Deck or ROG Ally or something, we've got the S version of games that we are tailored to the device specs. A lot of the devices that frankly are getting introduced right now, and I think that helps us. The scalability of engines today allows games to scale from ray traced enabled multi-$1,000 graphics on desktop to PCs all the way through to a handheld battery powered device. So for me, Xbox Series S has been helpful in our portfolio. He said, I'm playing Indiana Jones on the Series S and it looks great. It's definitely capable of current generation games in a great way. I think that's also in a way Phil Spencer saying, hey, if you can't get the game to run on Xbox Series S, it's a you problem because we got all these PCs. We got the Steam Deck, the ROG Ally, but you mean to tell me you can't get the game working on Xbox Series S? I think, in my opinion, you guys tell me if I'm wrong, he was taking a bit of a shot at people not being able, Wukong, Baldur's Gate, saying, hey, the Series S is an issue. Am I crazy and thinking that? That was a little bit of a jab?
It's not, he's definitely acknowledging it.
I mean, what do y'all always tell us when we're like, oh, our PC can't run this? Go get new parts. Go get a new system. I know that's crap to say, but we also lambasted and crucified Cyberpunk for being on last gen.
Oof.
So we're gonna get to now the point where it's gonna be like, all right, we can't keep making games for this now. This console is dead. We have to move on. And that sucks because everything's so gosh dang expensive. But we are talking about progress in the gaming world, and we get upset when progress comes by sometimes.
Oh,
We
lost
fear
somebody.
change.
Baron left,
So
I think.
Baron left. So I'm
Thank
gonna finish
God.
pushing this out. Then I'm going back. I'm sorry. So continue with this interview. Phil talked about first party games. We love our platform and our hardware, and we're not going to put up walls or where people can engage with great games. Our studios are building. Our games will show up in more places, no doubt. And let's see. I think that was it right there. And then also in a conversation with Dustin Laguerre specifically asked about Starfield and tried to get Phil to say, hey, let us know, is Starfield, is it going to stay at Xbox? And he pretty much said, I can't tell you that. Right. So I think all of this conversation to boil down to, and I'm going to get back to you guys, is I think people finally, with these two interviews, see that the exclusive game for Xbox is over. Oddly enough, South at Midnight, which is my most anticipated game, wasn't announced for PlayStation, but you got to know it's coming, right? Phil is telling you Starfield. I'm not going to say no. We're here. If you ask him about Halo, Gears, he's not going to say no. There is no red line. They want all of their games to be on all platforms, which is going to make Xbox the biggest third-party publisher. Johnny, you're super quiet. I would love to get your thoughts on this.
Well, as the as the resident console crusader, I've always been the advocate for all games on all platforms. So if that's the direction they're heading, I would tacitly support it. But at the same time, they're here to they're still trying to keep, retain the limelight. So let's see if they. Maybe they're just putting their foot in the water, seeing how that
I think they've jumped in. I think they've jumped in, Johnny. I mean, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. Xbox has pretty much jumped in, right? This is just where we are.
Maybe. Maybe. You have to remember, I'm not on Game Pass, so
That's
my
true.
my
Why not?
knowledge of
Why you hate
not?
Game Pass
It's
so
like
much,
2
Johnny?
games.
That's not true. I play 3 games, okay?
Oh,
If
good
it's a
number.
game
video
about
game.
beavers, he's not playing it.
But no,
Stop.
to answer the question. Hey, listen. That game just got an update.
God.
I've been playing.
I
Oh my God,
agree.
that got you, Des.
That all right.
I
Listen,
agree
was
with the
most
chat.
serious way I ever
What
had
made
to say.
Xbox brand Halo and Gears? I agree. I think those are landmarks in Xbox. I just think
And Forza.
at this point, you got to accept that those are now third party. Those all will be third party games. I think we got to just accept it at this point. I just think this is just where we are, and we got to just see how this ends, and just be happy with the fact that these games won't get taken from us, and it possibly extends us getting more sequels or more iterations or more spinoffs, because from the numbers, things we're possibly seeing, PlayStation is supporting Xbox like crazy right now when it comes to hardware sales, and that's mainly due to, because honestly, if I'm on Xbox, I'm gonna play my games on Game Pass. Why would I buy them? I can play them on Game Pass. Like I think that's what a lot of people that see me. I still buy my games because I'm a physical collector. Even though I think physical is out the door. I think
It's been out the door. You just collecting shells.
No, it ain't.
You just collecting shells at this point with a code in it.
Mm-mm.
Like unless I have like an
I got
actual
disc.
physical. Oh, you did?
I got
Of new games?
I have no. Yeah,
What game?
the most recent one. It was actually a gift.
Because I have literally not seen any that come with a disc.
There's a
anymore.
disc in here.
Oh yeah, that's because they did a special deal with PM Studios did a special deal to make that happen.
But it's
That
a disc in there.
that's fair, but that doesn't count because a lot of publishers are not doing that anymore. And that's
Shout out to
because
the-
PM Studios, the head of that, collects games himself.
He
Okay, so
does.
like,
He's a big collector.
He's a big collector.
Mike is a big collector. Every day I'm watching him post his gaming haul on.
Yes.
He's a big collector. Shout out to the Sly Crow with the follow super chat. He says no exclusive will push Xbox sales. There will be mass hate online and rioting for COD exclusive. PlayStation is the Apple of gaming. That's absolutely fact. And that's one of the reasons why Xbox couldn't, number one, other than trying to get regulatory approval, right? That's a whole other thing. I think the anger and the vitriol Xbox would have received for making COD exclusive would have further killed it. And I don't believe gamers would have boycotted because gamers are liars.
100%.
Gamers are liars and talking about boycotting. They wouldn't have boycotted, but every news outlet, every content creator, every podcast would have been killing Xbox had they made COD exclusive. I think that pressure enough, along with the regulatory things, I think it would have never
I can
happened.
see the headlines now. Video game nerds cause controversy enough to like. I'm just thinking rioting over a game. That is so weird to me. I get it. I love play COD all my life. I understand. I love the series, but the vitriol that I see some people could come at that with is weird to me. Over a game.
No, it would have been outlandish. Like it would have been.
But then
probably more of a death blow than anything. Yeah. I'm all for. Listen, at the end of the day, I think Xbox has a path set forth, and that's the path that they believe is best for them. Nintendo and PlayStation have separate paths. PlayStation and Nintendo and Xbox, I think, all have to do different things. Right? I don't think we lost it. I don't think we're at the point anymore to where Xbox can try to be what PlayStation is. How are we just losing? Are people being sucked into the void on the path? We got two people getting snatched. What happened? Why my camera?
I said I don't feel so good, Mr.
No. No.
That was the damn depression.
Xbox expansion pass. What's happening? Listen, I want to swing things over. We've been talking Xbox like crazy. I want things to swing over to PlayStation, right? PlayStation finally has a new CEO. And a lot of discourse on Twitter. I don't know much about this guy, right? But a lot of discourse on Twitter seems to believe that this will be the CEO that pushes PlayStation to day and date on PC. Dallas, I gotta swing over to you. Is it time, especially with Xbox really not being that competition? You know, people are believing that this new CEO, shout out to him for getting the job, he is going to push day and date for PC. We know that PlayStation has removed the requirements of PlayStation Network for a lot of their games. Spider-Man 2, God of Ragnarok. But Dallas, do you foresee this being the case where this is to be the CEO that say, you know what, yes, we are going full day and date? Because that is the sentiment amongst people who are whether excited or upset that they have a new CEO.
I hope so, because I'm definitely using that loophole. I got listen, I love PlayStation. Like I can't say I'm a quote unquote PlayStation guy because I don't really like what that means now. But you know, if I did, I'd be one. But I don't like PS Plus very much. I gotta be honest. Anything that's gonna keep me from having to use it, like just as a service, is just not very good, if you ask me.
And it's losing PS4 games, by the way, D. PS Plus is dropping PS4 games.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, y'all never gave up. Listen, we still haven't finished the backwards compatibility conversation. There's so much stuff that we want to see done or not done. A regime change is good, if you ask me. I don't know much about them, so if I'm being honest, I can't really speak on that. However, if we do end up in a future where we getting PlayStation games day and date on PC as well, that's good for everybody. That's good for everybody. I have friends that only play games on PC, and I have games on PlayStation I want to play with them, or stuff I want to talk about. I need somebody who understands what I'm talking about when I'm like ranting about Death Stranding. And there's only like 3 of them on this side of the internet. So
Love Death Stranding.
Absolutely want to see that happen. Like, from a personal standpoint, as a PlayStation fan, I know a lot of people may not agree, but like, you gotta stop living in the past, though, man.
And Herman Host, somebody said in the chat, I think on THX, Herman Host, he did get demoted. He is the head of PlayStation Studios, who will continue to lead the development, publishing, and business operation of SIE's first-party content, in addition to working with PlayStation production. So he did, I guess, in a way, I guess get demoted. But it's going to be interesting to see what direction. I know a lot of PlayStation gamers, right, are still hurt that Sean Layden isn't, the boss at PlayStation, right? Because I think people feel like those were the glory. I almost said something wrong. The glory days of PlayStation was when Sean Layden was running the show. Jesus Christ, man. What is wrong with me?
You see this what I was talking about earlier. This right here. They know what this is.
We come here.
Why would I even go there, bro?
I don't know. I remember that look you gave me when I said my little lyric earlier, but you.
It's like that was a natural oral orator.
I'm tweaking.
Gamers gone wild over here tonight.
Dallas,
man.
My fault. My
knee
fault.
slapper there, fam.
My fault.
No,
it's going to be interesting to see the direction of PlayStation. I personally think they are doing the right thing with focusing on what they do best. Double down on what you do best. Obviously, this multiplayer focus thing was a big miss. Because we're hearing studios like we talked about earlier. We kind of brushed over it, that what the studios, even Bend is losing more people, and I think they were the ones possibly doing that God of War game. Correct me if I'm wrong. That multiplayer game, they got canceled. Multiplayer gaming and creating multiplayer games as a forefront, live service games, I'm sorry, was obviously a major blow to the plans of PlayStation, to where entire studios were working on games we won't see for this entire generation. We won't see until next gen, because they were working on a game and they were all ends on a live service game, and now that is completely gone. The focus is back to what they do best, which I don't blame them for, right? I think Dallas talked about it in the last podcast, or who can blame them for doing what they do best? Like, they shouldn't even have mentioned we was doing live service games, right? But it's going to be interesting to see where the CEO, what direction he has, right? Because again, I talked about Sean Layden. It was first party, big blockbuster. This is what PlayStation is. And then when he left, it moved to, hey, maybe we should do what Xbox is doing and focus on live service games. Let's get us a PUBG. Let's get us an Overwatch, right? Now, what's the direction of PlayStation? What's going to be that PlayStation identity? And I think if this new CEO wants to succeed, he better listen to the PlayStation community. And what the PlayStation community wants is a continuation of what they already had. Give me big blockbuster. I know we talk about it as well, talking movie games, right? But that's what that community wants. And they better accept that those are going to be really expensive, and your games are going to be $100 likely moving forward.
They don't need to be, because we know that the cost isn't going to the people that actually make the games, but, it is what it is. I want PlayStation. PlayStation to me is like a nice spa day. I know when I'm playing a PlayStation game, it's a single player game, it's going to be a beautiful experience. Not saying Xbox, the games I play on my PC are not spa experiences, but it's like a nice me day. I'm playing a single player game. When I get on Xbox, or PC, I'm playing Marvel Rivals, and I'm not having fun. I'm always gonna have fun with PlayStation, and I want them to kind of get back to that. We don't need a live service. Unless you're bringing back Anthem, we don't need no more live service games. Come on.
And they don't have to. I mean, you are, for all intents and purposes, correct me if I'm wrong, they are the best at what they do. Especially when it comes to the hardware makers, right? PlayStation is the best at what they do with their craft. And we think about publishers and developers, period. I mean, you think about Naughty Dog. They're one of the top game makers
Yeah.
among all. Insomniac, which unfortunately, Insomniac. You know, I'm afraid Insomniac is going to just be renamed Marvel Studios.
Yeah.
Like, am I tweaking?
Well, no,
It's like they did Sunset
have a passion
Overdrive, which
project
was one
eventually.
of the best Xbox games
That was a
ever,
great
and
game.
it's been nothing but Marvel since Sunset Overdrive. Well, I'm sorry, Ratchet and Clank did come out. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I'm sorry,
Very good Ratchet and Clank game.
but other than that, and for the foreseeable future, because that roadmap got leaked, it's all Marvel. From the Wolverine, we know there's an X-Men game coming. There's supposed to be a Venom game coming. There was another Marvel game from that league. If you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but the pipeline seems unless Insomniac grows their studio and splits off to make other games, the foreseeable future of Insomniac games is Marvel, and that's super unfortunate because at some point, just like the movies, we're going to get fatigue, and I want them to be creative.
I think the people we know that are creative will, like the recent vampire game everybody's super excited for from the former CD Projekt Red developer, they'll go and make their own games. And then that's how we get beautiful indie games. That's always what's going to happen. It's not like BioWare. It's not the name that makes a game. It's the talent behind it. And you could have the biggest name, but if there's no talent behind it, you're hooped. So I think Insomniac may become a Marvel studio, but the talent behind it will go and do their own things. And we'll get another South of Midnight, or we'll get something even cooler. That's a long run strategy, though.
And I didn't mean to go off on a tangent because I love Insomniac, right? But my biggest fear is that they are becoming Marvel Studios.
It's valid.
Unfortunately, it is what it is. But I'm about to say, Baron Dallas, you cool with that? With Insomniac being stuck on Marvel?
Absolutely. For now, anyway. You know why? Because they did it to themselves. Here's what I mean by that. How do you make a Spider-Man game without putting Venom in it? And then how do you put Venom in a Spider-Man game without a Venom game? How do you make a Wolverine game without eventually having to make an X-Men or address the X-Men in a bigger way than just a cameo? Like and also, when I say they chose it, they literally chose it. Who does not love Spider-Man? If somebody comes to you and like, hey, listen, you got the opportunity to do a game for Marvel. You want to do Spider-Man? I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm not that big a Spider-Man fan. Who says that? I would ride that train for as long as possible. That's called job security.
Remember that report?
Maybe they were afraid of being. Maybe they were afraid of being compared to the games that were already released that were really like people really liked. You know what I'm saying?
They were
like. So I mean, to me that makes sense because it sounds like imposter syndrome. A little bit.
Yeah.
But eventually there'll be a passion project. Eventually somebody's gonna get really attached to some idea they had after a night of drinking with their homies. Eventually there's gonna be like and hopefully it don't happen during the development of the Marvel stuff because burnout is real. I don't want to be stuck working on something I don't really want to be making. However, they got enough. They got to have a big enough team to make more than one game at a time. You don't have to make all the Marvel games at one time. You can still work on the stuff you really want to work on and have the job security that comes from this big giant media conglomerate at the same time.
You definitely got job security.
I for one applaud them for having their cake and eating it too.
At these big companies, you have job security?
No. If you're
as long as
you're working on Marvel,
yeah, you cranking out.
I mean, like
Spider-Man.
Well, it doesn't really work like that because now they're basically following suit what the animation industry did, and they're only hiring people for those projects.
For those projects,
that
is
true.
Yeah.
You
So like, it's not like a career. It's like, oh, okay, the project's done. And then, like, you don't know if you're going to be assigned to a new project. That's a scary thing.
Oh, that's even better.
No, bruh. When you
Not
want to
good.
make sure your bills are paid, like you want to know.
Not in that way. I don't mean like that.
Oh, you mean like if you're gonna get to work on something new? I get. What you're saying. Yeah.
Like you get to work on the project that you want to work on, or at the very least apply to work on the project that you want to work on, and you're not married to all of Marvel as a creator, but Insomniac is. And I get that it might be a little sad, but we would never get in Sunset Overdrive 2. We would.
That sucks. We're never going to get that.
That
We're never going to get a. And they had a cliffhanger that I would love to see how the game continues. We're never going to get it, especially if Wolverine is good. If Wolverine is good, we'll never see it. And I honestly think there's a lot of pressure on Wolverine. I think because of the leaks and people sort of kind of saw what the game was about, and some people kind of ran with it, not understanding that game was like a super early, ridiculously early build. I think there's a lot of pressure on Wolverine to, number one, be good, and number two, not to be Spider-Man with claws.
Spider-Man with claws.
It didn't seem
Because
like
that would suck if Insomniac just makes Spider-Man with claws. That would be terrible. That would be terrible.
What do you mean by like make Spider-Man with claws? I guess I just need some more context.
It's the same, being the same game, but a different character.
Oh, okay, so same mechanics, same kind of like story leaning.
But except for web swinging, you're
just flashing through
on the
stuff.
ground. Yeah, but it just feeling like the same. Like it has. I don't want it to be feel like a Spider-Man DLC that doesn't include Spider-Man.
No, that's fair.
I think there's more pressure on Insomniac than people think when it comes to Wolverine need to be a good game.
Especially when you
I
take
think
characters that people
pressure.
already love.
I mean,
There's always going to be that extra pressure, which is why I can see why like they stepped away from certain things. Like Spider-Man has become like he's always been popular, but with the latest movies, like blew people out of the water, right?
Yeah.
And so like to take on that IP and to fuck it up would be bad.
Yeah.
Would be really bad. So I think like they continue to play it safe. Like they take on some characters, but people, when you hear people talk about it, they're more like, oh, the whole game was trash. Less than like they've totally ruined the character, because they're not characters that people like love as much as they love, like, let's say like a Batman or a Spider-Man or something like that. I think they're playing it safe with Wolverine too, because I do know that a lot of people like Wolverine, but I think he has a lot of hardcore fans. I think a lot of people are really excited about Wolverine now because of the latest Deadpool movie. So
I would love for PlayStation, if this agreement with Marvel, it's not just Insomniac and Marvel, but it's just PlayStation and Marvel. I would love for PlayStation to allow some other studios to make these games and not just be Insomniac. I
is
think
Marvel its own thing, or is it Disney?
It's
Disney owns Marvel.
That's what I thought. Okay, so is Disney making those decisions, or is there a team at Marvel who's making those decisions?
According to those leaked documents that happened when Wolverine got leaked, there's a Wolverine game, Venom, an X-Men, all supposed to be coming under the PlayStation umbrella.
Okay.
So my question is it just Insomniac, or will PlayStation allow Sucker Punch and someone
Sucker Punch
else?
Would be amazing. Sucker Punch,
it'll make the game
already make superhero games
with Infamous. Somebody just said that in the chat. Slacro.
They've been making superhero games since the beginning of time. And then eventually, maybe they'll get tired of samurai stuff. Like, I love Ghost of Tsushima, and Ghost of Yote is gonna be so fire. But I would love to see what they could do with a superhero property that's actually established. I think Infamous is kind of underrated.
Very underrated.
But wouldn't you agree that starting like that, making a Spider-Man game, and then branding that version of the world, the Gamerverse, but not having more characters in, like more heroes in that Gamerverse, is the equivalent of being named James but only being one dude?
Listen, some people not gonna understand that. Some people not gonna get that, D.
It's gonna go over their heads, but it's the truth. The truth is the truth.
My man Opus, I mean, put a P in there. My bad. He says sharing tech between many studios is how you get the same AC over and over and over again.
Or That's how you get Horizon and Death Stranding.
Mhm.
But
That's a good point.
Horizon
the-
and Death Stranding aren't decade-long franchise like Assassin's Creed is.
Exactly.
Assassin's Creed
Assassin's
should
Creed is turning 20. They literally.
Death Stranding is still a baby when we talk
can't be that old.
about some of these IPs.
Yeah, we are that old.
I
are
know, we're
that
pretty old.
Assassin's Creed
We're
came
pretty
out
old.
in 2007.
I remember reading about the first Assassin's Creed in a Game Informer.
PlayStation magazine.
I want to do
for
something
me.
we haven't done in a very long time. I want to end the show with suggestions. Chat, if you're rocking with us for a while, you guys know something we used to do it every single episode. We haven't done it in a while, but I want to bring it back. So, chat, I want you to drop in the comment section an anime, TV, or video game that you're currently rocking with. That it could be something that's super known or something that's flying under the radar you think people should know about. Drop it in the chat. I'm going to read those off, and I'm going to swing around to the panel. D, give us an anime, TV show, and or video game that you think people should be checking out right now.
Man, please go. Please go and watch Severance. Like
that was my suggestion. So go crazy.
I think it's so underrated. I asked so many people if they seen this show 2 years ago when season 2 dropped, and nobody seemed to have known what it was. And I'm really, really glad they got a second season. Like Ben Stiller, of all people, doing this. This man is doing some like white Jordan Peele type work right now, and I deeply appreciate it. Also, if you're into video games and stuff, play.
I would hope so if they be in here.
Right, literally play if you can be a ninja, a samurai, or whoop somebody ass because they interrupted your kung fu. Like play that. Like right now, I'm playing Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which is amazing. And that Sifu, Black Myth, Wukong, there's so many games to choose from, but if you can whoop ass and take names in that game, that's what you should be playing. Anything where you can do some kung fu.
Natalie in the chat says JJBA just because I love annoying hugger with JoJo references. I don't know JoJo, so I don't understand that reference. The Sly Crow says, I'm going to check out Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man cartoon. Which I actually they dropped today or yesterday, I want to check that out as well. Nisa says Trigun. What is Trigun?
It's an anime. It's like a classic.
Never heard of it.
Watch the old one, not the new one. Go watch Trigun.
The old one. Yeah, the old one.
Never heard of it.
It's an anime space western. It feels like it's got a little Cowboy Bebop soul in it, and I mean, as far as like how good it is, not like the style. But it's definitely a nice space western with a twist.
I would say it was like akin to Cowboy Bebop as well. I think even with the humor.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you like Cowboy Bebop,
beat Elden Ring or just beat Elden. I'm thinking Elden Ring and recommend it with a whole bunch of exclamations. Yobi says, my suggestion is donate to Huggers PayPal. That's a good suggestion.
Going to New York.
good suggestion.
Next time I'm streaming, y'all come hang out.
Johnny, like we weren't gonna notice you going from Xbox to PlayStation with your avatar. Your suggestions for this week.
I was about to say.
Hey man, I'll root for any team for the right price. I don't watch TV or anime, so I'm gonna give you 2 video games, folks. Number 1, Buckshot Roulette. Get some friends. Just shoot each other or not and fail and lose like Baron does. Me and him have been playing and he's not that great. Don't tell him. For the other game, you may not expect this. The Master Chief Collection. Since Halo refuses to give us more content, go back, play some of the other older good ones. And there's actually a lot of community-made content on the workshop that I've been looking at, and I highly recommend.
Okay. And yes, we're trying to get Hugger to New York, so hit that PayPal. Help a sister out. Drake Williams says, I'm reading Silo right now, also playing Death's Door. I haven't heard about that game in a while before it leaves Game Pass. Slacker says he's also needs to get back to reading Silo, and Natalie has been grinding through all the Yakuza. Is it Yakuza or Yakuza?
Hey,
I'm gonna let you choose whichever one you want to
Whatever
choose.
you want to be.
Des,
tomato.
swinging over to you.
Friend,
Your
partner.
suggestions for people to watch and or play for this week.
I've been playing Path of Exile 2.
Oh,
Okay.
And
see, Elon Musk, you can actually play the game, not just pay people to play the game. Sorry,
that was crazy. I heard about that. That was crazy. Looking at checking out Vindictus. As for watching, I don't have time to watch TV. So I have to pick one or the other. So I've just been playing those games. I have been watching, like I just said, I don't have time to watch a whole series, but I've been watching recaps of stuff because I don't have time to watch the entire series. So I just watched the recap of Tokyo Ghoul, which was pretty dope. If you guys haven't seen, I would say go watch it if you have the time to watch it. I just watched the recap. And that's about it.
Okay. TXX1138 says Elden Ring, he's still grinding. And Nisa says play Eternal Strands. I actually just downloaded that because it was day and date with Xbox Game Pass. Okay, I'm swinging over to you. Your suggestions for people to watch and or play for this week.
Play ESO because I've been back into ESO heavy. You can catch me on Tuesdays. I will be playing ESO on the channel. Aside from that, I just got into Dune. So Dune is a big part of my life now. I've watched Dune 1 3 times already. And I know I've Dune 2 and Dune Prophecy, the TV show, so I'm about to be unbearable to everybody talking about Dune. I love it so much.
Oh man.
I love it. It's so beautiful. Oh.
I'm doing my best not to fall down that lower red.
So that MMO gonna be right up your alley when it drop, huh?
Oh, yeah. This might be a problem.
You tried your best to say nah.
No,
listen,
I'm
for me,
stronger than that.
I'm gonna piggyback off of Dallas Severance. Go watch Severance. It's so good. For animes, Solo Leveling season 2, baby. So good. Solo Leveling is
Solo Leveling?
It's Solo Leveling.
Solo Leveling. Okay. I thought you said,
Yeah,
I don't know what I thought you said.
Oh,
it sounded like a
you
different language.
I'm offended for you.
Solo Leveling. No, I really didn't know what he said. I really didn't know what he said.
It's Texas around here. You feel me? Type shit.
Oh, people should definitely check out the new trailer from for Sinner. Have you guys seen that with Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah, with Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. If you haven't seen the trailer, go check it out.
For my game suggestion, play Marvel Rivals. It's way too good. It's a really good game. I haven't played the first Descendant in weeks because of Marvel Rivals, and I can't help myself. And then also, the only other game I've been playing other than Marvel Rivals is Ninja Gaiden 2 Black.
Hey.
And I'm frustrated. I remember why I hated this game because not only do you have to worry about dying, you have to worry about seeing because the camera is terrible in every which way or form. It's terrible. I hope Ninja Gaiden 4, please, for the love of God, don't let the camera be an issue anymore.
It's definitely
help me.
Help me, bro. For real.
Oh my God, it's funny.
I can't do it. But listen, it's been one hell of a show. Listen, if you guys enjoyed the show, if you laughed, if you enjoyed the conversations, please hit that like button because it helped us out a whole bunch. Subscribe. This ain't Twitch, so subscriptions are free. Just subscribe to the channel. If you want to support the show, super chats and or channel memberships, please consider becoming a channel. We do have videos that are only for our channel members, so you guys come and check those out. Listen, it's been one hell of a show. We'll be back next Wednesday at, I guess, 7 p.m. Eastern, because I can't say 6 p.m. Central no more because of Baron. We'll be back next week. We still got a bunch of other stuff coming, more videos coming, lots of new reviews and articles just released at LV1Gaming.com. You guys, please bookmark our website. We are a indie indie site, independent, no ads, is ad free, and so we're getting no revenue from you guys checking out LV1Gaming.com, and that's why we push the podcast so much for you guys to support us, because it helps us support our team, because it's hard out here being a pimp and it's hard out here being indie. So if you guys could become a channel member, it helps us out a whole bunch. With all that said, congratulations, you guys leveled up. This is the Level 1 Gaming Podcast. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
Onions.
Bye.